Hi everybody, welcome back once again to Vampire the Masquerade, New York by Night. We are back as usual. Hopefully no technical issues this time. We'll see how that goes. To start out, we're going to go round table and have everyone do not character intros, but talk a little bit about what their character did the previous week. So we'll start kind of with Articus and Zabani. You two can kind of explain together what your characters got up to and how everything went that way.
So yeah, last time I went to track down some Ravnos because they pissed me off. Might have flown off the handle just a little bit, but fortunately I brought Felix along with me because he got really freaking pretty for a second there and like calmed us all down. It was great.
Yes, so I was invited by Angel to first thought was negotiation to possibly knife stabbing to let's just jump everybody stabbing something, etc. that I was not expecting. So we charged into there and with my amazing looks, I had to negotiate our way out. But that's okay, that's alright. Everything's kind of fine and well, I found out a connection possibly with these Lupin and the rest of the vampires, or kindred.
So now we're gonna kick him the fuck out of my city after we save their brother. Well, one of their brothers. Not the point.
Alright, let's check in with Roland, Chard as Roland. So what were you last getting up to previous session?
Last week, I spent most of my time with Sunshine and Clementine trying to figure out the intricacies of blood bonding and what exactly that details. I think I'll be spending more quality time with them and much, much more this time.
Alright, next we will have Nate. What were you getting up to last week?
So we decided to focus on the Setites as our next course of action, and in the process, Nate went down to the Warrens to meet with the Nosferatu in order to get some information on the leader of the Setite and Dominic in particular. After talking with Gerard, is it Gerald or Gerard?
Gerard, so Gerard.
He gave him some information on Dominic up front, but withheld the other half, and gave him his price to take back to Claudia, instructing him that Claudia would be upset if Nate read what the price was. So, despite all the temptation to read the note, he brought it back unread to Claudia, who was visibly upset at what was required of her, but she agreed to pay it. And that's where Nate left off.
Alright, and Kim, what were you getting up to?
I was having dinner with Dr. Church and Nathaniel Hawthorne, I think it was.
Yeah. I think it's a Hatcher.
Right, it starts with an H. And we were basically talking a bunch of science technobabble about how kindreds work how kindred work almost biologically. On a cellular level, on a brain level, and I had just told him what my derangement was.
Yep. That was a fun conversation. And Ike, what were you getting up to, you little scamp?
I'm a stab set. I'm sneaking through the Setite compound to stab a bitch. Maybe, maybe not. I was told not to, but I'm bad at listening. I think, on like the second floor, just sneaking about, listening to people.
I believe you had made it to the top of the stairs and you were still hidden, but you were just starting to listen to what was going on. Alright, so where I would like to start this evening is, let's start with Kim, because I think time-wise you're a little behind everybody else, and Angel definitely wants to give you a phone call.
Yep, so I'm in the middle of a conversation with Dr. Denchurch, and I guess my phone goes off?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? What?
No, wait, I think you're still at the dinner before Angel and Felix are done. So when that time comes around, that'll be when Angel gives you a call. So let's finish up the conversation, because NetChurch was still very interested in what you had to say. And I'll get Nathaniel's picture up. I don't have one for NetChurch just yet.
Alright, that's fine. So I also did not eat last game, even though I was hungry, so I need to eat today.
Yep. You were already kind of hungry, but decided to put it off because you hate feeding from live specimen. So, you had just started to explain what your actual derangement was to Dr. Netchurch and Nathaniel Hatcher here, who are colleagues that invited you out to dinner. You had explained the fact that when you feed on a person, you can potentially take on, it seems, their memories, if not their personality as well, and you've been trying to capture something about this scientifically, so you've been giving yourself, like, CT scans just after feeding. And NetChurch was very interested in that, so, like, he folds his hands, just, like, puts his, like, elbows on the table, just listening to you, he doesn't say anything.
So, essentially, what I have discovered is that if this particular, some would call it derangement, but if it is in fact true, and judging by CT scans, it almost is, then the essence of a person, if you will allow me to use a strange metaphor, what gets transported in, like, a Star Trek style transporter, the essence of a person philosophically is therefore linked to the blood and not necessarily much of anything else, considering we can unlock it, or I can unlock it from this.
NetChurch thinks for a little bit and then nods along. I can understand your reasons for thinking such. Do you think, however, it could be psychosomatic, that you are believing you have these memories or have adopted this person's personality?
The way to be able to tell, it might be the case. That absolutely might be the case. And the way to be able to tell would be to ask someone about something that I saw or something that I heard that was in their memories that I would not otherwise know, to see if that is in fact true.
NetChurch leans back, kind of steeple-fingered, and just nods, just kind of looking you up and down and thinking. Nathaniel's also just sort of sitting there paying attention. He's started gently, like, playing with his food. You all have full plates of food since NetChurch insisted on ordering food, even though none of you can eat.
Kim kind of pushes hers around on a plate a little bit.
So NetChurch finally speaks up saying, "That sounds like a potentially very interesting experiment. Have you done anything like this yet?"
Not been able to feed off of anyone that I trust to ask those exact questions for fear of discretion.
Understandable. Well then, let me ask you this. You seem to be a bit younger to this second life, as it might be called. But how many of our kind have you encountered? How many have you met that would have different maladies?
Only my sire, Dr. Fargus. I have formally met, I think, only 3 others besides him. I've seen others, but I've only met 3 and haven't exactly sat down to talk to most of them about their derangements.
Oh, but were you able to assess anything just from your interactions?
Some are not as in tune to being able to see certain things as others. Some very much more... There's a strange amount... This is interesting. There's a strange amount of pattern in everything, and it seems to connect much like how I feel a connection to blood itself. However, not everyone is necessarily sensitive to that, and that's an interesting variety and actually very beneficial, I think. It keeps the perspectives different.
I've heard about this seeing things, making sense of patterns or visions that seem to relate to the world itself and are not just hallucinations. I've heard these Malkavian often referred to as seers or having insight. You said you've met some of these?
I have. Although the sight, I think, tends to kind of blur a little bit of reality for them. They tend to act very strangely. And that's saying something.
Net Church will look across the table at Nathaniel. Nathaniel, how about you? Have you met any of these in particular? And Nathaniel will nod along. Yes, of course, I've met a couple who say that they've seen things and sometimes are told what to do, even if they don't understand the directions. So Net Church is just still like kind of like leaned back in his chair, just nodding and listening to all of this.
So, I suppose what I am looking for is better, more secure research into testing the properties of blood. The VEU is just a fantastic unit, and if I can borrow the schematics from that, the numbers from that for you later, that would be fantastic, because I could be able to quantify what it is I'm doing. Basically, everything is... Some things can seem to be supernatural, but I think anything can be quantifiable if you study it.
Oh, absolutely, and I think your ventures toward that are most intriguing. I am very interested in this experiment hypothesis you have about testing your own unique situation against the blood and how it affects you, and this concern if it is more psychosomatic or if there is something else that the blood can transfer.
Exactly. And I would absolutely love to find out, in particular, how blood affects the mind and the nature of my own quote-unquote derangement.
Absolutely. At this point, waiter comes by. He's just sort of like checking that everything's to everyone's liking, and Net Church just gives him a one-word command, and he sort of scuttles off looking like he didn't realize he was where he was, and just kind of goes back to the kitchen. So, yes, you want some of the information, the VEU. I can certainly make sure you get a solid copy of that. I'll have that sent along, and I would very much like to keep in contact and hear reports on your progress.
Of course. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'd say there's like just some more like little more chitter chatter. Net Church asks Nathaniel a bit about like how his work has been going. Nathaniel, tries to get Kim included again, asking her thoughts on one or two other medical things, actually more human-based things, stepping aside from the kindred topic. And then after a little while, the waitress that was there a few minutes ago is walking by, and Net Church waves him over. He asks again how the food was, and Net Church looks him directly into the eyes and tells him that they couldn't eat another bite and to take the food away. And the waiter just starts piling the completely full plates up and walks into the kitchen as though there's nothing strange about that. So, Net Church and Nathaniel both sort of rise from their seats at the same time, and even though he hadn't eaten anything, Net Church kind of like wipes his hands with a napkin and sets it down. It was very pleasant to meet you, Dr. Brown. As I said, please keep in contact.
Absolutely, I would love to.
He's going to kind of just leave from there on his own, and Nathaniel will walk up beside you without touching you, but make the motion like he's going to lead you out.
Okay.
So once you guys... Oh, what? Yeah.
I thank him basically for introducing me to
Yeah, so just between chatting as you leave the restaurant, by the time you get outside, he gives a quick little glance around, and he's got a cab being hailed for him, and he just smiles very genuinely at you. So, what did you think of Net Church?
He is brilliant, however, I think entirely too scientific. I don't think that spirituality and science need butt heads near as much as both sides think they do.
Nathaniel, like, crosses his arms and, smiling, just nods along with what you're saying. Yes, absolutely brilliant, but I agree. I think there is some room in our world to explore both. I don't think they're mutually exclusive, and I don't think there's any reason to doubt the impossible with some of the things we see night to night.
And I also don't think that just because you try to study something that seems supernatural that it makes it any less supernatural. Like, just because you study the makeup of a star doesn't make it less wondrous.
It's very poetically put. Well, and a cab will pull up for him, but he's gonna, offer it to you first.
Oh, yes, thank you.
I will keep in contact with you myself. I'll make sure that you and NetChurch can keep a brief of your progress, and you can get that information from him. But it was good to see you, Kim, and I will speak with you soon.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
So he'll wave you off as the cab starts going.
Okay.
Since you're not dressed for work, are you gonna get dressed at the hospital or go home?
Yeah, they keep scrubs and stuff at the hospital, so.
Okay, so you make it back to the hospital, and about another hour into your work, oh, look at you being prepared. So about another hour back at the hospital into your work, you would get a phone call from someone's name you recognize.
Incidentally, what happens is I'm driving. I think I'm driving vaguely in the direction of where Kim is, but I have handed my phone to Felix. Because
I remember.
So, is it a smartphone or a dumb phone?
Oh, it's definitely a smartphone. They're just easier. I'm pretty sure nowadays even burn phones are semi-smart.
Okay.
I left my phone in the other room again. This time I promised tissues. Woo!
How do you use this?
All right, look, there's a little green phone thing at the bottom left.
I can't turn it on. Which button turns it on? It's clicking the screen.
Right. Press the buttons on the side of the phone until you find the one that turns it on.
Oh, I found it.
All right, slide the little green phone icon.
Slides.
And press Kim's name, because there's only two names there. It's Kim and Nate. It's a 50-50 shot.
Please roll
okay.
technology to select the right name.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I thought this whole thing went well. And he pecks at it and he gets, oh, yep, I get you.
Yeah, right.
By the way, do you like my braid? Jocelyn did it.
By the way, yeah, his ritual is still up. He is 5 appearance, and sexy as hail.
I'm actively avoiding looking at him.
Did you guys call me?
Yeah, well, actually, I assume he calls you because he doesn't know how to activate a text.
No.
Angel, yes.
No, Angel's driving. He gave me the phone.
Oh, do you still not have your own phone yet?
No. Well, I did, but it got taken. Anyway, to have time to talk, we might have discovered something interesting that shouldn't be discussed on these blasted devices.
No. This one's okay. This one's specifically purchased to be talked about and
like all the way talked about.
I mean, be a little bit reasonable, but just
So-
let it. It's about what we got the phones for.
Right.
Tell her that. It's about what I got her the phone for.
It's about what you got him the phone for.
Oh, okay. Sure. I can. How long will this take? Do you know? Like, should I meet you somewhere else? Can I meet you just at the morgue for a few minutes?
I don't know. How long until we can find her?
How far away are we?
You guys were at that hotel. It's actually not very far from where Mount Sinai is. It's a few blocks.
It's not that far. We'll be there pretty quick.
He says quickly.
Okay. Sure, come on by the morgue.
She says go to the morgue.
That was the plan? I didn't... Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Here you go. And he doesn't click it off. He just hands it back.
I'll slide the red icon, you know.
Okay, so as you continue driving along, you make it over to Mount Sinai, and as usual, you park in the back parking lot that's adjacent to the morgue, and you know that there's the sort of secondary entrance that Kindred can pop in and out of occasionally to buy blood or other things. And as you walk in, you find Kim maybe elbow deep in a corpse.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm trying to make up for the work that I lost.
Having fun?
Oh yeah, this actually kind of is fun as much as I complain about it. Not gonna lie, but sure. What did you need?
Also, when Kim sees Felix, she will also be a bit thrown back. I would say it's fair enough for her to notice the difference, but not necessarily how or why.
Beg pardon? I'm sorry.
It's okay. If you look over and see Felix, you will also be a bit taken aback. You would notice kind of that there is a difference, but not necessarily how or why.
Huh. Okay.
He swears it's just the it's just the breed.
Okay. What did she kind of like loses her concentration for a second and then like gets to him. What did you need?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to catch her?
Yeah, so remember those
She has like blood up to her elbows.
To be fair, like, I'm kind of halfway used to that because I usually have grease up to my elbows, so not that big of a difference.
One's body fluid and one's engine fluid, I mean,
they're basically the same thing for just a different kind of machine. Anyway, so you remember those Ravnos I told you about?
yes.
So we confronted them today, and apparently the only reason they were after me is they was looking for some paperwork that apparently I had. I had no clue I had this stuff. I don't even know if I do. I ain't never seen it. But they was looking for that, and the only reason they was looking for that is because some fucking werewolf, again, captured their brother and said that he would kill him if they didn't get this paperwork. And I didn't make the connection, but he did. He said, you know...
Well...
Crap, I'm actually kind of out of character. I'm forgetting the connection that you made.
He made the connection, he figured out that Lupin were probably trying to find their own brethren, that's why they're acting out of place, and not outright just killing Kindred, and instead using them for infiltration.
You did also make the connection with Infotech, the weird stuff happening over there.
I actually did not remember the name, but yes, the chemical plant was also...
Lab, it's Infotech. It's more environmental studies. There's some chemical stuff, but not a chemical plant. It would be, you know, a research lab for environmental stuff.
Infotech. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of them.
First time I've ever heard of them, but all very suspiciously tied.
All I know is that we're already suspicious of a certain individual. and now there's a connection that I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on at this Infotech place, because you know, I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if this werewolf wasn't in the wrong here, even if he's going about it the wrong way, because we're already a bit suspicious here.
Wait, hold on. So werewolf and Invitech. Wait, does the werewolf want to break into Invitech? What is the?
All I know is that somehow we are getting a surplus of werewolf blood, and a werewolf is holding a vampire hostage. That sounds like a war to me. Maybe not a war per se, but like that sounds like a conflict between two groups of people.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
you're right.
So, theoretically, you got like a certain person's catching a bunch of werewolves, and a werewolf becomes angry and captures a vampire. Like that's.
And then
It's
tries
almost
to use
funny
them
that he just
for
captures a
infiltration.
random vampire.
Now, also do realize that Angel has just recently encountered a Lupin. And then he encounters a Lupin.
Again,
Hey, Lupin.
you have just a fantastic luck for attracting Lupin, Angel. Just, I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't know any of the craziness the Lupin can do, but I guess it wouldn't really be outside their realm to track down Angel from wherever, maybe just spell, and then send some kindred his way to not really be super suspicious. Especially if you have a captive brother.
Captive brother?
The Lupin has a captive brother.
Has one of the Ravnos, and that's why they came after me.
They came after you because of their brother?
Yeah, because that's what this werewolf told him to do. She said, "Come." He said, "Grab this paperwork
Wait,
from
you?
me."
What do you have to do with it?
Apparently, somewhere in my shop, there's some paperwork or something involving Infotech. Apparently, I don't know. I ain't never seen it, but I gotta. It might have something to do with my Saya. I don't know, but definitely gonna have to look at that. But like, apparently, I got some paperwork, according to this werewolf, and that's why they sent him after me.
It's possibly this all connects from your sire too. Maybe they didn't just stick.
Hold on. Let me check something. Follow me, would you? And she goes back into the
Sure.
bag. I just want to double check that there is not anything Invotech related on those crates of werewolf blood.
Sure. When you go back and you check all the sheets and the crates and everything that you have, there doesn't seem to be anything on there labeled Endotech or anything that would make you think of anything related to it. It was, as originally mentioned, labeled strangely with the LPX. You've never seen that before, but you finally figured out what that was. But otherwise, no, it's just still more numbers and codes.
Okay. Never mind. I was checking to see if that had Invotech on it. That would have been too easy of a connection.
I don't know. I feel like she'd be too smart for that.
Yeah.
If that's what the connection is, it could just be that I'm pissing off werewolves in multiple directions for no connected reason. That could be possible too.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe they just want to ride
They just want to what?
a car.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
that
I'm trying
kind
to
of-
make a joke.
I feel like that there would be better ways of going about getting a car than being run over by one. Just saying.
It was just a joke.
Actually,
I know.
I think
I joke.
Angel will probably shudder just a little bit thinking about his car dented like that. He'll be like,
Aw. Okay, so yeah, werewolf blood. Refunds are coming after this. You silver. I can try to help. I can try to look into Invotech itself. I am a doctor. I might be able to get something in there, but not sure if that's the smartest idea.
Just out of curiosity, I am gonna follow the same kind of train of thought that she did, and I'm gonna Google Infotech and see if the warehouse that this the van is being stored at happens to have like a readily accessible Infotech name attached to it.
Sure. I'm gonna tell you that the warehouse doesn't have anything labeled to it. It seems to be owned by one of the banks nearby. Good job, though.
So, should we check it out?
I can probably get us access to it, at least on a tour base type basic thing. I need to know I need to have an excuse to be there.
I mean, you know, then there's always the Nazis.
That too, although they're expensive.
Damn straight.
Well, they're cheaper if you have information.
Yes, but I'm not even sure what information I have. So
You have a Lupin.
one like this.
A
We're asking them for an entire building's worth of things.
Lupin named Jeremy with an actual description of what he looks like, who is infiltrating kindred interests. I'm pretty sure the Nazis would love that kind of information. And that's not necessarily a lose-lose in anyone's direction.
Okay.
We told on a Lupin. Oh no.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I also got I got one of their phones that he's been contacting them on, so you know they can definitely, that becomes easier for them. Fucking nerds.
I mean, if we do that information more so using them as well, I mean, they are outsiders.
Sorry,
Spira,
I'm laughing at what Chard posted.
Spira, is this anything that I can use Demontation 3 for, to try and see connections between things?
Ooh, 1 second.
Look at that cookie monster.
Talk
amongst yourselves. Well,
I just asked
find
you a
out.
question.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm looking it up.
Oh,
I'm double
sure,
checking.
then we can RP until you do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose we should at least go investigate the company. I can probably get some records on it, considering my connections. I have some connections into the police. I have some connections into just the medical and science technicians. What angle would you like me to play?
I don't even know what kind of company it is, so like I don't know what kind of connections to get you in there.
It's an environmental company. They do various things regarding science and trying to do like clean energy, that kind of thing, I think.
I mean, like this is out of my wheelhouse. That's why I go to the Nazis for this shit.
I might be able to get it in there. That's you know, why I'm offering.
So what I'm saying is, you will probably make a better decision as to who to go through than I will, because I know cars, like cars and combat, like those are the two things that I know.
Well, I know some science, but I mean, this is really a matter of, do you want me to try to do it myself, or do you want to pay someone else to do it? Probably better.
I mean, if we can get it for free, there might be or at least some of the information for free. That might be nice.
So, yes, you can use Eyes of Chaos to determine patterns, get hints about things. If you do it, or if you use it on a specific person, you can discern things like their true nature or things about them. If you do it to, say, like, to a physical object, it can give you patterns related to it. So if you find like evidence, like that could be helpful. If you just do it out into the air hoping to find something, you're probably not going to get much, even if you get successes.
Mostly. Can I do it on the werewolf blood? Is that count?
Yes.
I'm gonna go do.
Yeah, let me see. The difficulty for that is going to be 8. And you'll roll perception and occult.
Okay. Shit. I have an occult. Nothing! Alright, this is gonna be fucking great.
Well, now Kim knows what she needs to study from now on.
Little bit. Alright. I don't even know how to study that. I guess I can ask people shit. I got 4 perception though, so it still ain't bad.
Also, a reminder to
Felix, that's
everybody.
fine.
A reminder to everybody. Don't forget, like you can use willpower for 1 success if you feel the.
Oh,
But-
Toad's doing that.
Okay. Yeah, it's if you feel like that's getting 1 success is better than the chance of failing or whatever, then don't forget to do that. And you can earn willpower back as you play your character's nature and demeanor correctly. So, which we all do. So. What you okay? You did mean to say you wanted to use willpower, right?
Yeah, I said it was, yeah.
Okay, was that just for fun?
When you say that you're going to
When
use
you
willpower,
say that means I can roll again, right?
No.
When you say that you're going to use willpower, it means that you choose to use willpower instead of even rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, instead of rolling.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
shit.
well, forget that because yeah, it's
Never mind. Okay, then-
you spent the
then,
willpower.
Then I misunderstood what that was. Yes, I spent the willpower.
Okay, so you picked up a bag of werewolf blood. You tried to concentrate, maybe even thinking back on how you felt when Lily had, kind of affected you in person. Trying to just use that insight ability, and with 1 success, you start to get this imagery and feeling of isolation. Being away from mainland and like water being around you.
Huh. Okay. So you guys kind of see Kim, like, because at this point you guys are still in that back room, because I don't think you guys left out of it. She kind of like stares at the box of werewolf blood for like an awkwardly long amount of time, just completely silent.
You okay over there?
Oh, yeah, yes. I'm sorry. I was trying to. Never mind.
Well,
I have a feeling that wherever this is from and being done is either on an island or near the water, very far from the mainland.
so where we're at?
Hmm?
I mean, we're on an island. I guess we're not very far from the mainland. Unless you walk. If you walk, it's actually kind
It
of.
was a feeling of isolation and being surrounded by water. You don't exactly get that in the middle of Manhattan.
Isolation's not exactly one of the descriptors of Manhattan.
Yeah, no.
Just for my purposes, is that warehouse anywhere near an island?
What?
The warehouse, is that anywhere near an island?
No, the warehouse is in Manhattan. It's Upper Manhattan.
Alright.
I think right here we'll come back to this little gang chatting. Let's check in with Ike at the Setite house.
I think I'm a day ahead of Roland.
Are you?
I think
And
he's
Roland was getting ahead. I think, yeah.
yeah, I think he might be a day ahead of me, and I might be heading to the Setite house on the morrow.
Okay. All right. Then what we're gonna actually do is go back to Nate because it was still that night. He was still talking with Claudia a bit. That conversation hadn't exactly ended.
Alright. Where exactly did we leave off?
The two of you had been trying to discuss, just even between the two of you, what might be a good next step. Claudia has some thoughts. She just really wanted to know Nate's opinion, if he had any thoughts about it specifically. I think the main thing that ended the conversation was the two of them starting to get a bit riled up personally, and she was like, you know, don't get me to get my guns out. Oh, and of course, you know, she has the detail of what Gerard wants from her for the information. So she's gonna go over to her now cracked in half desk from where she punched it, grab her laptop, and go sit somewhere else that is more stable and log into the camnet, start tapping away.
Alright, so if we're going to behave and not, as you put it, go in guns blazing, this business with Dominic Sire, if Dominic Sire is as big as he is in the city, this isn't going to go simply, is it?
She's still typing away quickly, kind of, her eyes are really focused right on the laptop, but she's listening to you. Well, I don't know the idea of being big in the city, I imagine she's powerful, if that's anything to do with he or she, whoever it is, but I don't know who they are, so they are obviously in secret.
When do you expect to get that the other half of the information from Gerard?
She doesn't exactly answer you. She has kind of paused with her laptop open and is just sort of sitting there staring at her laptop. What was that face?
Did you not see the pizza or
Oh,
the kiss
yeah.
held up?
No, it's okay. I'm busy.
Sorry, what exactly did you last say?
It's fine. You had asked her when you thought you'd get the information. She has, like, kind of frozen in front of her laptop, and after a few more moments, she'll just, like, kind of bury her face in her hands with, like, her fingers, like, in her hair, just like this.
Claudia, if it's that difficult, we can try to renegotiate him. I mean, I'm sure you have to have something that he wants other than that, whatever this is.
She'll lean back, and she's still just sort of staring at her laptop. She looks, you know, exhausted, as she has for, like, the last week now. And she just starts shaking her head. This isn't just about Roland at this point. I want to find out what the hell is going on with the Setites. And I know Gerard. He's an ass, and he's not going to change his mind, especially if I make a point of saying I won't give him this information. That'll just make him want it even more. So then she starts typing again, but very, like, fast, and pausing, and backspacing, and typing a little bit more, and backspacing, and pausing, and taking, you know, a breath here and there.
That type, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck. Okay, I can't send that. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck. Okay, I can't send that.
No, it's just fuck every other word.
Well. Sorry, brain's being slow.
Fine.
So what, if we're going to go take this slow, what do you hope that Char and Felix will be able, or, God damn it, Roland and Felix will be, I don't know why I'm so flabbergasted at the moment. What are you hoping that Roland and Ike will be able to find from the Setites? I mean, if they have... Dominic is obviously very well connected, and his sire is somebody high up with the Setites that, regardless of what we do, this looks like it's going to get incredibly complicated one way or another. I mean, of course we want to be as prepared and as well informed, but...
That's exactly why I need to get more information first, she says, looking up suddenly from her laptop. If I can get us even a better layout of wherever Dominic's place is, once I can get some information about the sire, find out maybe where they are, just even having location is going to be better than running into one building. We don't know how many people stay there, where people could be hiding. You know, even if we did want to go in guns blazing, we need to know more than just street address.
Good point.
Not looking to find out the sire's name of everybody or where they grew up. I don't give a shit about that. I need to know how to take them out, if that's what it comes to, or how to best negotiate that they get the fuck out of my city.
Or, you know, strike both simultaneously. Then it's not an issue.
Yeah. She looks back down to where she was typing, looks distraught for a moment as you see her eyes like gliding over everything she just typed out, but then she kind of smiles slightly. You've been practicing with your sword?
All the training that an 8-year-old can muster.
Well, you know, maybe give yourself a little extra time with an adult now and then, in case we need you.
Don't worry, it's like riding a bike.
Good. She's going to take a little bit longer, sigh, rub her face, just like read over her message for probably like the 14th time, and in that sort of just like, I need to get this out of my face, just hit enter and close her laptop.
Well, it's done.
Yes, it's done. He's a punctual ass, so hopefully we'll hear back from him soon.
Well, don't really have anything else for Claudia exactly.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did you have anything else you want to do that night, like leave and come back, or would you just want to skip time?
Nothing that specifically needs to get covered. Probably at her beck and go, work on sharpening Willow and start running himself through his own paces to make sure that he's sharp.
Okay. I haven't like specifically mentioned it, but Nate would know this, is that kind of through her bedroom, there is a back room that's got like, you know, special electronic lock, keypad, everything for it that leads to more of a large back practice room, gun cage, where she keeps all of her special toys.
And I'm assuming Nate has access to this.
Yes.
That would probably be where he goes to do his training.
Alright, we'll go to somebody else to give sort of that sense of actual time going by. Roland said that he would be interested in heading to the Setite house the next day when Ike was already there, but I know he still wants to talk with Clementine, I believe, a bit longer, so... Or not.
Nope.
Okay, alright, well then, that night we'll wrap up. Benedict and O'Connell don't come back at the end of the night.
Oh no.
I mean, you got their cell phones if you're that worried. Where are you?
I need you. Okay, so they don't come back that night.
Yeah.
So I go to sleep and wake up.
You, I think, still wake up a little later than maybe both of them, but, so maybe about the same time, you'll hear your elevator, moving downward, and the two of them will walk into the apartment. Clementine's probably rubbing the sleep out of her eyes.
Benedict, sunshine. It's just like a greeting, like hello.
Benedict just nods, and Sunshine still looks a little awkward, but she waves and smiles at you and Clementine.
So, I need to take some of the money that we earned from business practices and take it to the Setite house. And he kind of gives like a look towards Sunshine. I need, if I could have more blood, just to make sure you have more. You know, I don't need to. Yes, you know.
Benedict has a nice big shit-eating grin on his face, and he calls out to Clementine. Hey, Clementine, come here. I have a interesting story I want to tell you. And he walks over to, like, where you have a desk in the further corner and, like, sits her facing away and, like, sits down and leans in and starts telling her some exciting pirate story. And Okana will, you know, come shuffling up to you, and she still looks like a little nervous, but you actually see some concern in her face a little bit, like,
are you still gonna go do this shit?
Yes, I have to. We have to keep up appearances that I'm under this man's control and that I'm his employee for now. Why?
I'm just asking. Whatever.
Is she standing or is she in the bed?
She's standing.
Okay.
Across from you.
All right. Roland will stand up and stand like kind of in front of her, just kind of looking down towards her. O'Connell, you're not worried about me now, are you?
Shut up and just... Look, I'm worried about Clementine losing her dad.
Look, the last thing I need is Clementine to lose another father figure, whatever you want to call me. I just need, are you ready? He kind of awkwardly looks at her like, are we doing this?
Yeah, come on.
I'll go and I'll bite.
So, like, her face kind of, like, flinches a little bit, but then as the kiss takes over, you know, she just relaxes a bit. You take whatever point or so that you need, and when you step back, far more so than the time you fed from Dominic and from the first time you fed from her, you actually feel this innate kind of connection with her. It's kind of hard to describe, but it definitely feels like when you start to just grow closer to someone naturally, but also feels a bit strange because it kind of happened in a moment.
Yeah, I'll kind of like, when I pull away, I'll kind of like, my hands don't go completely away from her. They kind of like are on, let's say like went down to her hand. Like one hand is just like kind of loosely hanging onto hers. Not Clement, sorry. Sunshine, just tell me to come back in one piece.
So she'll look up at you and will very sternly, with like kind of a, like, you know, her brow furrowed, be like,
don't do anything stupid and come back in one piece. Don't tell him anything either.
Do I, like, is it just like, that is an order and I am a loyal soldier kind of feeling? Like,
it would be more so if you were fully blood bonded, but at 2, it's definitely gonna feel like a wife you don't want to piss off.
Okay. Okay, yeah, Roland, fuck. He he'll move forward. I'm not sure how she'll react, but almost like a kiss on the forehead kind of thing.
She's going to suddenly whip her head around and make sure that Benedict and Clementine are busy, but after you do so, she'll look like she's blushing. Can't, but you know, that kind of like scrunch in your cheek that goes up. You're just like... So then she's gonna kind of like shove you or like by your shoulder back a bit and be like,
Go on.
Yes, dearie. And I'll go walk over to... I'll say my goodbyes to Clementine and gather up the money from...
She's gonna leave a little like hit in the back of your shoulder as you try to walk away after the dearie bit.
I'll just smile at her. So the money from the drugs was separated from the other stuff. So I have like his... Do I know how much money I have? Have I counted it?
Yes.
Very good. How much money do I have?
You have 3 keys worth. You tell me. Oh no, you didn't sell all of it yet. You made a big dent. So maybe like 1 1/4, like, you know, something around there.
Okay.
You've definitely cleaned out 1 full key. The other one like started to go.
That's like, that's a lot of money.
Well, it was a big party.
For sure. Yeah, that's...
You'd already had it for a night or 2 as well, so it was slowly leaking out in the club, but then like the party like got rid of a lot more of it.
We have over $100,000.
Okay.
So I'll put that into a briefcase, say my goodbyes to Clem, and then head off to Dom's.
Yeah, so as you were moving away from O'Connell, you saw Benedict like kind of jumping around a little bit, pretending he had like a sword in his hand, and she's just very enveloped in whatever story he was telling her. So as you go to say goodbye, Clementine kind of grabs your arm a little bit and be like, "Where are you going, Roland?"
I have... I'll be right back, hopefully. I just have to drop some money off at a friend's house, and I'll be right back.
Benedict is gonna scoop her up and kind of hold her like in his arms, like playful fighting, kind of like, "He'll be back before my story's over, don't worry."
Benedict, I was meaning to ask you, who taught Deckard how to fight? Was that you?
So he'll take her like kind of where he's holding her hips, flip her over, and like throw over his shoulder like a bag of flour, and she's just like kind of laughing about it. And Benedict will cock his head a little bit. Yeah, guy was pretty useless when I found him.
Well, I'm not sure if you know this, but our little Clementine here is in classes. Why don't you teach her something? Or maybe she could teach you something, and I'll give a little wink over at Clementine.
Benedict will give a real hearty laugh and say, "Sure, I'll see what she can show me." Alright, that's a good spot to end. Alright, let's go back to Angel, Kim, and Felix talking then for a little bit, and then we'll go with Roland and Ike, even though it's slightly off. It's not like they're talking.
I have an idea. There's the brother, and I'm pretty sure they said the brother's name. It's not Greg Waters. No, that's Sean. What was the brother's full name again?
Oh shit. Fuck.
Greg Waters.
I thought that was Sean.
That's Greg.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
That would
So
be...
we have Greg Waters. We have Sarah.
And Ash Ferens.
Ash Ferris.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be the very best.
Ah.
Like, no, never mind.
Sorry.
So I know his name and his general description. I could probably find him.
Really?
Yeah. Just kind of It's something I do.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool when I read about it and learned to do. So, I mean, I could try to track him down. It's got its own flaws and everything, but it's something. I just would rather, if we're going to do it, to be focused on it. You know,
I mean,
because the trail is hard to chase after.
I mean, yeah, it's just a plan. I'm pretty focused. I'm really curious what the fuck is going on.
Are we doing this now?
Is it good now?
She can kind of nervously looks around the Borg and just like, God, okay.
Is it like midnight?
Skipping a
What time is it?
bunch of work.
Yeah, it's gonna be
last
more like
yesterday.
midnight-ish because Kim had just gone to dinner. That was it.
I just got chewed out for skipping some.
And you
work
guys gone straight to the
yesterday.
motel early in the evening.
Anything that somebody who's not particularly proficient with medicine could help with?
Sorry, what?
I'm
Like
saying,
my
is there
work?
anything I can help with?
Oh, well, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can.
Okay, stop making a noise. I couldn't tell. I suppose maybe the problem here is that I'm doing a lot of forensic neuropathology, and I have to dig around in their insides and find out what killed them, and that is what my work is today.
So, nothing that somebody who doesn't know what they're looking for can help with.
Probably not. However, I would be, useless at cars, so that too.
Would it be easier if I just called the ghosts and asked?
Sure. Yeah. I'm actually gonna work while you're doing that. Okay? Because, like I said, I got chewed out for missing
That
some
was
work
a joke.
yesterday, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit.
Not,
Oh, it was.
not everyone has a ghost. Maybe they just died peacefully.
You're welcome to try. Here, step into my ghost store. I have quite a few dead people in here.
Okay.
You know, just for fun.
Yeah, just before that, we're gonna actually do the skip ahead with Roland heading over to the Setite house. Get Ike in here.
All right, so I just pull up to the
I
house.
play this game too.
Well, do you just pull up to the house?
Yeah, I'll pull up to the house.
Alright, so are you walking in like you mean to be there?
Yeah, I'm walking in with my briefcase.
Okay. So Ike is at the top of the stairs, listening in on the conversation. You were there the first time, right? You met Dominic, right?
Who, me?
Yes, Ike.
What? No.
No,
I was
okay.
just I was I don't know, with Claudia on a rooftop or something.
Okay.
hanging out.
Right. So you just hear a few voices talking. You don't know who specifically. Even if you take a peek, you're just gonna see some people, like a couple men speaking, and you'll see the slew of blood dolls and ghouls in, matter of undress, hanging around, smoking hookah pipes and doing all kinds of other fun things. And if you listen in, you would hear at least two men speaking, like, just open about it, not trying to even be secretive or whispering, about, like, a couple different drug deals, street names, and then, like, naming some other people about who's supposed to be taking what, and just sort of business about getting their drug trade moving.
All right. Now, do any of these people appear to be in this darkened hallway?
The stairs lead up to an open room, which is where you're listening and or seeing these people. There's no one in the stairwell that you're on.
Since we're treading new grounds, can you do a couple rule clarifications for me?
Yep.
Rorschach checks. Will you let me know if sneaking with obtenebration versus making people check for Rorschach, it's only if they notice the obtenebrating shadows, right? So if, like, the shadow's running perfectly along the ceiling with another shadow, so it's not distinguishable from anything else, they wouldn't Rorschach because they don't see it, right?
No, yeah, no, they have to, like, it could be a fire behind a kindred unless they actually, like, felt it or saw it or something like that. If they were completely oblivious to it, it wouldn't affect them.
And I can assume anyone who doesn't run in terror, well, either succeeds a roll or is familiar with obtenebration specifically.
Yes.
How long is a scene for me?
That's not a clearly determined thing. You are ahead of Roland if that's what you're concerned about.
No, so if I get to have a thing for a scene, and I'm doing
Oh,
sneaking,
okay.
like, is it halfway across the hallway, all the way across the hallway until I leave?
Which part are you talking about?
Shadow play, Arms of the Abyss,
Oh, well, I'm
And-
just asking which specific one.
and Black Metamorphosis.
All of them at once?
I don't know why I pushed to talk to make a gesture, but I did.
Yeah, no, you can just go ahead and do those as they need to either be rolled or the blood points you have to spend, and a scene lasts more than a few turns, so you're basically in a scene until you leave, kind of.
Alright, I didn't want to be too...
No, you're fine.
I didn't want to be like, oh, you made it halfway across the house, but that took 2 minutes. You're done. Everything drops.
No, this is gonna kind of be a scene unless it somehow took all night. That might then...
But I can't just hide in the closet for 10 hours.
No.
Alright, so let's start with shadow play.
Okay, so that allows you limited control over the shadows and other ambient darkness.
Just one point.
Yep, and because you're actually in Setite's home haven, it is very dim. It's actually almost like kind of more shadow than light. The lighting in there is very much like just against the wall, so you will have a lot of control.
Okay. Well, I can also overtake lights with the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have it stick to me, which gives me extra dice for stealth. So I get 1 for stealth. Yeah, I get 1 for stealth, and then it's a little more difficult for people to hit me.
Okay.
So, Arms of the Abyss. Manipulation occult, roll, difficulty 7.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me being the only dice nerd in this game. Yeah, 1 success.
Yeah, alright, so you get 1 tentacle.
I'm gonna have that, like, laid down against my back, so it's, like, sticking to me.
Alright, so for anyone who doesn't know Teneration very well, Ike was able to pull out 1 tentacle made out of shadow that I believe is about 6 feet long and has the same dex and strength as you do.
No, it is my obtenebration trait.
Oh, good. Okay.
And that also cost me another blood point, so that's 2. I get 3 per turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to sit at the stairs for a turn, or do I have to?
No, you can stay there with those pulled out.
No, I need to spend 2 blood now.
Okay.
So it says technically on my turn.
Oh yeah, no, you would finish 1 turn, but you haven't moved or done anything, and you're in the shadows, so no one will have seen you. So you just stay for a bit longer, and you take the time to spend 2 more blood points.
So, courage and manipulation difficulty 7.
Nope. Those ones canceled out.
I said just saw the one, yeah.
So you just got 1 more success. Which one was that one for?
That's Black Metamorphosis.
Okay. So with Black Metamorphosis, you are able to kind of bind shadows to your body even more so than just what you've wrapped around you. And it extrudes wispy tentacles from your torso and abdomen. So while you're still in a humanoid shape, now you're taking on much more of a sort of walking demonic tangle of shadows.
And I have 4 more tentacles. That's 5 tentacles.
Yep.
Although these 4 are my strength and dex, not a 10.
Yeah. So you've got 1 tentacle that has 4 strength and dex, and then the other 4 are 2 strength and 3 dex.
All right, let's start sneaking down this hallway.
I told you you're at the top of the stairs in front of an open room.
Oh, that's right. I thought there was. Oh, well, into the room we go. Let's peek in though. Trying to keep obviously the shadow focused on my head. So.
All right, there is a bit of furniture at the end of the stairs, so you could stay against that before anyone would notice you. But there are a fair amount of people sort of milling around, so it's not exactly like you can just keep walking into the room.
Right, so it's you said there's no one in the. I don't see any people though.
What?
Did you say I see any people in that room? I peeked my head in.
You're able to hide against some furniture at the top of the stairs, right in the room, but you're walking into basically a living room with a lot of people. There's no more hallway.
Do they all look okay? Is there shadows around the sides of the? You said it's really dimly lit.
Yeah, the whole place is very dimly lit. It's only like some lighting kind of on the walls, but it's enough ambient that you can make out all the shapes of people. You can see the furniture color, that sort of thing.
Okay, let's. Can I guess the difficult, like my likelihood of actually making it around the corners if I have the shadows stick to me real close? Does it look like people might be watching hardcore? Are they all just in conversation?
All of the ones that look like they're probably extra, like, ghouls and blood dolls hanging around are, like, languidly just doing whatever. There is a man who I would describe as Dominic, so he's, actually got his picture. So Dominic, tall, reddish blonde hair, very good looking and in like a nice, button-down shirt and slacks, is speaking with another individual. He is also sort of like short-cropped blonde hair, but he looks like just kind of right out of like, he looks like an NPC. He's just wearing like a suit, sunglasses, like kind of a straight back. There's not much personality to this guy just looking at him. They're standing in the middle of the room discussing. Behind Dominic you can see what looks obnoxiously like kind of like a throne, and around the room is more furniture along the walls, pagan Egyptian style decorative items hanging from the walls. Everything's incredibly not asymmetry. The symmetry of the room is amazing. And no, but I believe, I feel like pulling out Black Metamorphosis is going to kind of overrule your shadow play. If you go out there, people are going to see it. And if they see...
No, that makes sense. It's literally the absence of light. That's different than darkness.
Yes.
I'm just going to watch the room for a few minutes. Does anything change?
Dominic and the other guy are still sort of just talking. One of the girls walks up and she kind of languidly, like, her fingers trail across Dominic's shoulders, and he'll wrap his arm around her pull her to his body and, like, you know, looks like he goes and, like, takes a nip out of her neck and then lets her go on her way. She stumbles off, kind of giggling. At this point, Roland probably would have, you know, made it to the front door and would have been greeted by one of Dominic's guardmen and led to the stairwell.
Do I hear people moving at the bottom of the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Is there room under the couch for me?
It's an open floor.
Did you say I'm behind furniture?
You're, like, by a dresser that's you.
Oh,
I
okay.
said you could tuck, like, by it before people would see you, but it's open floor after that.
We're just gonna wait and hope. I'm gonna be real fucking still. Do I hear, like, are they at the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah, the guard is just talking to Roland. In fact, he would be asking him, how have you done with selling the product?
Is there any route is this the only way up here? Was those stairs
Yeah.
right down at the bottom of the stairs? Is there another
Yes.
room like dart across into?
No.
It's just
That
that hallway leads right up these stairs and no
Yes.
other entrance or
And I
exits.
did explain that.
Well, it was last week.
No, I just explained it because you kept talking about hallways, and I said, no, you're just upstairs.
This is really hard to, like, without any visual. You should start drawing. Well, guys, it's nice knowing you.
Am I supposed to respond to the guy asking me?
Oh yeah, he was just asking you about that. You don't have to. You could be rude and not.
No, I was just wondering if it was still cause next turn. It's going fine. I threw a party and we sold quite a lot. Am I gonna have to wait long for Dominic, or can we get this over with?
No, he's just upstairs. You can follow me, and he will start on the stairway.
I'm, like, staring right at it, right? Like, I'm clearly visible.
You can see them. It's like the stairway's even darker, so I'd say you'd be obfuscated while on the stairway. I was saying if you walk into the room, though, people will see you. But they're gonna walk past you, and I think they would notice.
I'm going to slip to the stairway when I start hearing them, like, making their way up. Does anyone notice me moving from my dresser to the stairway?
There is, like, railing on the stairway. Do you want to try and be athletic and get down it?
The railing?
Yeah, it's a stairway up to a second floor. There's some railing a bit further down.
You mean, like, run to the railing?
You could jump it if you want to try that. If you want to get away from everybody.
Is that or get caught in the middle of this room?
I don't know why you pulled everything out if you didn't want people to see you.
It's all darkness. Everything's black. Literally blackness.
Well, you were just asking me about Rotrek, so that's what I thought we were doing, but okay.
No. I literally want to be as hidden as possible. That's why I have 4 different kinds of darkness stapled to my body. It's literally pure darkness that is stuck to me. It actually looks like my limbs are disappearing into the abyss. Like my limbs are fading away. I'm fading in and out. They are not... It's not visible against a dark background. In a bright room, yeah, I would look like a fucking Rorschach test, but...
Okay. I'll just need stealth stuff then when you walk in the room. So dexterity and stealth to stay along in the shadows and not be in anyone's line of sight. Remember, people are moving around a bit.
What's my difficulty?
7.
Two successes.
Cool. Alright, so If you want to slink into the room and stay as close to the wall and where you see the least smallest patches of light, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. Well, and you said the hallway is still probably. You don't think Ike doesn't think he can make it.
No, you would have to go back down the stairs, and Roland and the guard are still already walking up.
Alright, we're gonna find the darkest patch on this wall and just keep moving and like ducking in between around every light I can, and anywhere where I get close to like fudging the light up a little bit.
Okay. And yeah, with 2 successes, you'll be able to handle that for like at least a couple turns. Then we might have to roll again. But so Roland would make it to the top of the stairs after you've ducked away, and would see Dominic speaking with one of his other guards, and Dominic would catch his eye, smiling, and turn to him. Roland! And he's gonna put his arms out in a very Mafia-esque kind of welcoming motion. How are you doing this evening?
Doing fine, Dominic. We never exactly discussed how we were supposed to interchange money or any of that, so I thought I sold quite a bit and I'd bring you some and we could discuss the finer details of it.
He walks toward you in a bit of a, like, kind of naturally slinking swagger and just still smiling. Well, you're here, and I take it you have some money with you, so what's the problem? Doesn't seem like we needed to work out anything now, is it?
Is he at a he's like walking towards me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'll open up the briefcase and just show it to him. I didn't know if it was safe just to come here with a briefcase of money, or if you wanted to send your men, or if I had to sell the whole package before I dropped off some. What was my cut? What was your cut? There's not a problem. There just needs to be some discussion on how we are going to run this friendship.
So he stops just in front of where the briefcase is, and he starts, picking up the stacks and looking through it, and nods, and he says, "Yes, I believe so. I like you, Roland. I'm glad to have you on staff." And I'll drop the stacks back into the briefcase. I would like Roland to give me a willpower roll against 8.
Okay. Bam! Tell him to suck it.
Nice. Alright, so as far as that addictive blood that he happens to have, and the 1 level of blood bond that is still sticking because you haven't completed the bond with O'Connell yet, you feel that little tingle, but otherwise you're able to completely suppress it, and you just, you can stare him hard in the face and be like, "Uh-uh."
Do I feel like when he gets closer, the urges get more? Is it like the chocolate cake sitting on the kitchen table? Like
Yeah. So, and then, like, if he actually bled himself, the difficulty might be higher because you would smell it. But yeah, just being close reminded your beast of what it was like.
Roland's face kind of like he's keeping steadfast, but like there's a little bit of a twitch in there, just like I kind of want it, but we're holding it back.
Mm-hmm. All right. So he snaps the briefcase closed and hands it off to one of his men. How much was that for?
That is a little bit over 100K.
And to the product?
To the product? What do you mean?
He means, like, how much is that from? How much did you sell?
A little bit over a key. I made a little bit over a key.
He nods and gives you a large smile. Good. He'll look over at the one guardsman and just say 30, and the guardsman will open the briefcase back up and start counting out stacks.
So once again, do you want me to drop it off? Are we doing this on a timely manner? Are we doing this on a money matter? How do you want this?
So Dominic looks a little distracted. He starts kind of watching his ghouls and blood dolls and is just sort of smiling to himself, enjoying a little bit of that kind of power play over viewing his little kingdom. And he turns back to you and says, just bring us the rest of the money you get for the rest of the product you have now, and we'll set up a better system.
So, just so I get it crystal clear, I don't come back until every gram is sold.
That would be my preference, unless you have some other reason to come and see me.
I don't think that will be necessary.
Alright. Well, I do have one other question, and he's actually going to take another step closer to you, kind of filling in the small gap that was between the two of you. You,
How close?
little closer than comfort.
Like you're about to go in for the smooch on a date close?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
And he's still just smiling, and he says, so you're good at selling drugs. Are you interested in selling any other product, any other pleasures at your club?
It's not... cut to the chase. What products? What are you thinking?
He has a bit of a, like, evil kind of chuckle. Whatever you could think of.
As of right now, I think I kind of have my hands full with this operation and that operation. If you have something in mind, please speak up. But I'm not here to beg for other business adventures.
I wasn't asking you to beg yet.
Sorry.
Anyway, and he'll just like kind of walk backwards, but eyes still like trained on you, and then he'll heel toe towards his men and pick up the stack that was being planted down on one of his sort of like, tables nearby, and put it back in like another small little case he has nearby and hand it to you. 30%. I think that might be fair.
30% sounds fair. Am I able to buy my way out of this agreement that we have?
He gives you a very, very absolutely not kind of grin.
Fine. Rolling. Like, so they gave me my cut back in a briefcase?
Yeah, he had like another small bag nearby, and he put that in a smaller bag and kept the larger briefcase.
Roland kind of looks around, and then kind of as if like an idea came to him. You said other business adventures. I'm assuming you have women.
As many as you could want.
As many as I could want.
I could always get more.
That is true. How exactly would we run that business?
He'll sort of like scratch his chin. He's got like a little bit of stubble. He's just kind of like, well, depends on what you want them for.
Sex, Dominic. I want hookers and prostitutes.
He puts his hands up and just like kind of sarcastically, well, I didn't know. I wanted to ask. Perhaps you just wanted them to dance around in go-go outfits.
No. Prostitutes. Do you have prostitutes?
Yes, that's not a problem.
Before I agreed to anything, I'd have to look them over, maybe choose some from your stable. Is that something that could happen?
Absolutely. Let me set up a catwalk.
If you have them somewhere, I could drive down there and see them now.
No, I'll have to gather them up, and he waves kind of around the room. These are only some of them, and some of them are mine.
He parades some around in the room we're in right now.
No, he waves at, like, kind of the men and women that are in the room, and he says, these are only some of mine, but most of these are mine.
Roland will do, like, a kind of detailed look, trying to remember faces and small details, tattoos, things like that, so that he could remember back.
Alright, just give me a standard perception alertness against 6, and I'll see how much he can remember.
So am I still good in my corner?
You are. I think at this point, give me one more stealth dex roll.
Same difficulty 7?
Yeah.
Even though I'm standing still.
Mm-hmm. Because people are moving around.
And, sorry, for my rolls, it's 6 or 5?
6. Oh, wait, do you have...
Do I have?
You said 5, so I wasn't sure if you had something that would help, but yeah, no, it's standard 6.
Nope. Okay. It's just been a while since I've rolled. I forgot.
Alright, so Ike is perfectly fine still moving around the room, not, getting caught by anybody. You only have 1 for perception alertness?
I have 1 in perception and 0 in alertness.
Alright, the room is dim, you're a little distracted by Dominic's forward attitude, and so you pick up maybe, like, redhead, blonde, you see some tattoos, you see some snake tattoos, which is just going to be pretty standard, but other than that, nothing that really stands out.
Gotcha. These are... yes, if you could just... if you could just set up a time for me to search over the rest of them, that would be fine.
Absolutely. I'll give you a call. We'll do it in a couple days or so.
Yes, that is fine. I'll make sure not to do you have a number I can call so I'm not just dropping in unannounced?
Of course, and he'll snap for one of his guards to come over and give you his card. It's similar to the one you saw before. It's black with, like, the silver triangle and a little, like, silver snake in the shape of an S inside the triangle, but this one does actually have a stamped phone number on there.
Sounds good. I'll take it, pocket it. If there's not anything else, I'll be leaving.
Sure you don't want to stay for a drink?
Kind of gives him a look. Are you offering, or...
He's going to lift up his arm, and his sleeve, like, falls down a little bit. His tongue shoots out about 11 inches, forked, slaps around his wrist, and opens up the veins in his wrist, and some of his blood starts to drip down. So now I'll need you to roll willpower against 9.
Alright. Shamma-blamma ding-dong. There's 0 willpower in me. Less than 0, actually.
Alright, so you are not able to resist. You can go ahead and explain that.
So with the addiction, have I been feeling the addiction at all lately? Like,
yeah, I probably haven't mentioned it a little bit, but I mean, you only had so many scenes in between people, but yeah, it would have been, like, in the back of your head, kind of. Like, really, really wanting a drink after a long day.
Oh, okay, so that's what I have been feeling, but now it's just much, much more.
Mm-hmm.
Roll, I guess her eyes don't get glossy because that would require liquid. Just kind of like stares at it and just kind of like tunnel vision, just staring at his arm, and walks up to it and takes it and just slowly, as if it was just going to be like the first drink of water after being in a desert, and just starts drinking.
All right. You can hear some of the men and women around the room, like, just kind of giggling a little bit. After you get, a little bit of a fill, you can, rip off. Your willpower will come back to you, and you can be disgusted or anything else you want.
He kind of just, like, stares forward and is just, like, in that kind of just, like, fuck this kind of thing. Just, like, Is there anything else, Dom?
He's going to, start to button his sleeve back up, and you see that the blood's still there, but you can see, like, the wound healing, and very nonchalantly, not even looking at you, go, "No, you're free to go."
Thank you. And I'll turn heel and walk out. Stormy, kind of.
Alright. No one follows you.
Are there any windows, like open windows around me on my wall here? Are there any windows in this room at all that are open, not like bricked over or anything?
No, they're kind of, blacked out at least, and some of the men and women are a bit closer to them.
Can I, make my way back to the stairs?
Yes, you can, but give me one more roll. Gotta make it through the room. You'll be down the stairs if you can get this. Alright. Like, skirts through the room expertly, dashing through shadow to shadow, and makes it to the stairs, and is free to head down them. You don't hear anyone else downstairs, because the one guard that had been downstairs was the one that came up with Roland.
Alright, I should see Roland though, right?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna hang behind him with his, one perception awareness. Kidding. Is there any other rooms in this house I can explore, or is this like a walk in the door and just go to that room?
No, there's a few, like I said, it was kind of like an L shape, and you came in from the back end of the longer end of the building, so there's probably another wing you haven't gone through.
Let's, go check that out. I'm obviously listening for peeps.
Okay. As you travel around downstairs, it does seem relatively abandoned. It seems like mostly everyone's gathered up in Dominic's kind of upstairs foyer. And as you go through, are you looking for anything in particular, or you just want to see what all the rooms are in there? Get the layout?
Checking out the rooms themselves, any closed doors that like look like they might be locked doors, like, don't go in this room kind of closed locked door.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a door that looks a little too nice or sturdy for like this house, specifically like an office kind of thing.
Yeah, so as you go through, you do see some rooms that are not locked, even the doors are open. There's, like maybe like one small office, a little like den area, almost looking like a little too nice and homey for what you may have seen upstairs. But as you travel further back into the house, further away from the stair and the front entrance, you'll start to see more and more doors with like locks on them, and maybe one at the very back with an actual keypad and like card swipe or...
We're gonna go to that card swipey door and put my ear to it and listen. Oh, wait, no, check for a camera. Well, no, I don't care. No cameras. Go to the keypad door and put my ear up against it and listen.
Give me perception alertness against 7.
It's gonna be 7 for me tonight.
You guys are getting into more dangerous stuff.
Spirits better be 7 too. 1 success.
Okay. So as you keep your ear up to the door, you don't hear very much. There's definitely no one in there, but you hear something that sounds a bit like hissing.
I'm gonna push on the door and just feel if there's any slight give, wiggle, anything, or is it like solid like a rock?
It's a pretty solid door, and you can kind of even feel... There's not so much give, but you can feel there's like those big bars that are gonna like slide in and out if it's unlocked.
Is there a camera? Just out of curiosity, like looking up in the corner by where this door is?
Yeah, there is one down the hall.
I'm gonna push as quietly as possible with 2 arms and 5 tentacles. Not
Okay.
like punch it, like push against it. I don't know how groups of people pushing against something works. I'm gonna try to quietly smash this door.
Yeah, okay. No, I would do that as like a 3-person combined thing. So give me 3 rolls. You're like your average strength and dex. I know you have the 1 tentacle, it's a bit stronger, but with the other 4, it'll even out. So give me 3 rolls against difficulty 10.
Of just strength?
No, you're... Oh yeah, actually, because it would just be strength.
Athletics wouldn't help.
No, not pushing a door gently. This is very strange.
Why don't I get... It's 5 individual things with 3 strength.
I was thinking of it as 2 arms as a person.
But each one is as strong as I am. As a whole.
Alright, fine.
I'm gonna argue for
I'll
my best
take
case
it.
here. So can I do 4 rolls of 2?
Yeah.
And a roll of 3?
Whatever you want, darling.
That was the exploding. That's everything. That's me plus 4 tentacles plus 1 extra tentacle.
You got 1 success, but I was going to say it would have to be an extended action anyway. You would need more than 1 success, but you'll feel it give a bit, so you can tell, you know, with enough pressure and all that, it could be taken down without using the keypad.
Okay, we're just gonna leave it. If I have to push much harder, this thing's gonna go flying the fuck off like a torpedo.
Alright.
I'm just gonna try to like sneak my way back out the house.
Okay, yeah, there wasn't anyone else downstairs and you still have all of your stuff up, so you make it out safely. Okay, so, let me get something a little less. We'll do Dark City. Alright, we're gonna go back to Claudia's apartment, where Nate has gone off to Claudia's little secret room of all her sharp, pointy, stabby, shooty toys, and has been practicing with his sword. Alright, and so what are you up to, Nate, other than just practicing? Just killing time? Alright. After a little while of Nate practicing with his sword, he might have, you know, felt a bit, got some stress out of him and wanted to go check on Claudia. As he goes out, he'll find her in a much more slightly relaxed pose, sitting on the couch with her laptop. Definitely engrossed in what she's reading.
Is that the information on Dominic's sire that Gerard promised?
She has like her hand like to her chin and just nods. Mm-hmm.
That good, eh? What does it say?
Her name's Yvette Myers. And then I'm just gonna shorthand because I'm still finalizing the final details. But she's gonna like say like where kind of her haven is. Gerard believes it's her haven proper. She's seen leaving there most often. And then also it includes information on the temple proper, which is not the same location as either that place or where Dominic is. It is a small building, very much more like out of the way. Probably could only fit like the tiniest little church, like just a few like a couple dozen people, and then just gives a little bit more information about her seemingly average comings and goings, like when she might be at her haven or other places she goes. It includes the location of the Black House, the like kind of drug den. She isn't seen there often, but occasionally.
By Black House, you mean Dominic's house?
No, the Black House was the large drug den, which I think
The thing that we walked into the first time with...
Mhm.
Okay.
And that was where Roland set up the whole, like, I want to get a drug deal going. Dominic's is much more of a very pretty, like, brick building.
Gotcha. Were you done with the overview?
Yeah, that's about the information, because he even said, like, do you want more than that? Because even, like, the original note said, like, Sire's name, but, like, he did actually give a little extra information in the, in his response, but it was still kind of like, I need more for you getting more.
So, I really have to ask, how the hell did the Nosferatu know all of this? This is to an almost creepy stalkerish level of information. Like, the hell do they have on me?
Claudia just gives a resigned kind of laugh. That's what they do. That's how they get on with never being able to hold any other kind of job or anything else in the surface world.
So, they play creepy stalker fanboys? Like...
They have a dark web interface that runs the internet. I don't understand how it works, but it's sort of separate, and there's, like, if a human can manage to get into it, they're immediately embraced, is what I've heard. They have access to cameras practically wherever they want. Their skills are lend them to sneaking around, stealth, hiding, changing the way they look, though not the same as you.
And I guess they typically trade in information like this and just keep it stockpiled for opportune moments.
Well, you spoke to Gerard. What did he say?
About what?
When you asked him for information.
He seemed nonchalant. Of course he had that information. It was, in retrospect, a little creepy, I guess.
Yeah, so they have filing cabinets and servers, as long as the sewers go, of information for whenever they need it. Not that they are infallible. I mean, obviously he was asking me for something.
Well, the nature of it all, it seemed like it was something of a personal matter. I doubt, from the sounds of it, I mean, I guess things like that aren't particularly easy to come across.
No, that's where they'll get you. They can find out where you live, they can find out the blueprints for your home, they can watch when you go and where you go, but they can't exactly tap inside your brain or your personal history if it's not written down anywhere.
So, other than reminding me never to piss off the Nosferatu for any reason,
It's a good idea.
I'm gonna sleep not well tomorrow.
What's the problem?
Oh, just the knowledge that there's... Christ, what do they have on somebody like me? That's what I want to know.
Honestly, probably not much. No more than they would have on, like I said, where you live, where you go, what you do, out and about on the streets. I mean, I kind of did pick you up in the middle of a war and take you home.
I mean, good point. It's not like... I doubt they would have had any records of who I was before the war, so...
I'm sure they want to know who you are, being that I'm primogenitor my child, but other than that...
Yeah, no, that...
I wouldn't
Anyways.
worry about it, Nate. They don't use that information or give it out lightly.
No, just when some snot-nosed neonate comes around looking to get himself into much more trouble than he should be.
Yeah, except I'm the one that has to deal with them. You're the messenger. They know better than to kill the messenger.
Good point. So, you have the information on, what was her name again?
Yvette.
Myers.
Yvette Myers, yes. At least that's what they gave me. You never know around this city.
So at least one name that's attached to her, so it's good enough for me.
Yes, and this location is a good start. Wonder how much more he'd want to try and squeeze out of me to get blueprints or something.
To not sound like I'm prying, how much do you have to give him?
She's going to give a real, like, kind of almost like giggle. Nate, I've been around for a while. I thought I told you that, didn't I?
I'm just trying to think what would be of use to a Nosferatu in a situation like this. I can't imagine a conversation like, I had a good drink at the bar in '83, but... I don't know.
Do you want to roll to see if you can, like... I don't know if you're actually trying to ask her or not.
No. He's more of just, like, he's trying to check the bank account, like, will the check keep clearing is his question.
She'll laugh a little more at that. This is nothing really. Like I said, it's only personal. It's nothing it's nothing anybody else I think would want. She's gonna sigh a little bit. It's just someone I used to know. He wanted a bit of information on him.
Oh, that's easier. So who was this guy, if you don't mind me asking?
Her face is gonna go a little tighter at that.
I mean, why is Gerard interested in him?
She's gonna clam up a little bit. It's not, he's just... I'm not really sure why he wants this information.
Alright. I was just curious, like you said, that you've been around for a while, and there's only so much I know about you that it's curiosity more than anything.
She'll look actually a tiny bit pained at that, like, guilt trip line. Well, what would you want to know? You've never really asked.
I forget at times that people have past they enjoy talking about. I tend to focus on the present.
I can understand that.
So you said you've been around. I mean, you've told me things here and there, but...
Well, you know about the rum running back down in the coastline and making my way up further north, and then the war started back in like the 70s, 80s, because we knew it was not going to be something done over even a year. I got wrapped up in it, and one thing led to another, and I found myself on the front lines, leading and making decisions, and when all of the dust settled and people were putting their names forward for positions, I was kind of put forward by my betters. I don't think they wanted it.
So you're saying everyone better qualified had no desire for the position, and you were their patsy?
I suppose so. You know, I get plenty of calls and emails and texts asking me if I can get something done, rather than them having to try and do it themselves.
What is it about New York that leads an entire generation of vampires to shirk away from the duty of running it? I mean, first there's, can't even remember his name, the Nosferatu, who was Prince Pro Tempore before.
Calibros, he didn't want the position at all, and a lot of kindred don't want the position of prince. It's a very specific mindset that does, and you know, it tends to go that if you're old enough, powerful enough, power hungry enough, you're not going to settle for a young city. The city's going to have problems for a long time. These people would sooner move to DC, Atlanta, over to the across the coast, maybe try and take the free states back for fun. You know, that sort of thing. No one wants a mess like New York.
It sounds like a practice in waiting, 500 years for a prince to grow tired of running a city and step down and leave his position open? Or
stepping down's not usually the way it works.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but it sounds like New York City would be exactly where you'd want to be. Someplace you can be challenged.
I believe so, and that's why a lot of us are here. I mean, the war was really led by the Justicars and the Archons. We were the peons. We were leading and helping where we could, but it wasn't our final decision, whatever was done. And once the city was ours, they left, because they had better things to do.
Like give themselves all medals, pats on the back, congratulate themselves on a job well done, and leave other people to do the fun work.
Someone needs to kiss the ass of the inner circle.
I mean, that's a good point. So, you said the war started in the 80s. That's still decades of time that you had to get up to something interesting. I'm sure it wasn't just rum running and Sabat.
No, the rum running was before, back in the 30s when kindred and kind really wanted a drink and couldn't get it legally. I don't know. It was a long time. Lots of things happened. Imagine asking a human what they did over a 20-year time span. How are they supposed to answer that in even an evening? Let alone kindred who can get up to more fun stuff.
I suppose for the average person, they do leave a bit more varied life.
You know, when you don't have to eat, you don't necessarily have to work, you can save a lot of time and get up to a lot more fun.
That's fair, if you can... like you said, it's such a vague, long period. I mean, I could ask you, what's it like living through World War II, but I assume I have the same perspective on it you did.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, the events of the 20th century are I mainly picked up from radio broadcasts here and there, and I mean, we didn't even have a television, so it was interesting. Mainly, public radio and other things that I got the majority of my understanding of the world.
I think, because I want to get back to a couple other things, we'll leave Nate and Claudia having a little one-on-one time. Child and sire getting to know each other. Duh. So let's go back to Kim, Angel, and Felix, who are still that one evening trying to make their final decisions about what to do with some of this information and things they've learned.
So, do we have any friends on this? So, I mean, it may not be best to go chasing after them tonight. We've been
I mean, yeah, they've been in town for a while. They expected to be in town for a little bit longer. So, like, I figure their deadline ain't tonight. Like, fucker can survive a few days.
Do we have any experts in dealing with Lupin?
Yeah, just call up my werewolf hunter buddy.
I think Kim's clicky is.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yay, technical difficulties.
Please hold.
Yeah, it's fine.
Your call is important to us.
She could try dropping and coming back into the Discord call.
Yeah, that happens to me on Discord.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Discord crash. So Angel.
Yeah, I totally know a guy who's he could just take werewolves out. I'll call my werewolf hunter buddy. It'll work fine.
Oh,
They don't
that's
they don't
wonderful. I'm glad we have you as an assistant to this. I don't know of any experts.
There aren't any fucking experts in the vampire community. They don't exactly tell us what kills them.
So
As
your
far as I
experts
know.
aren't like kindred?
I mean, I don't know. I figure if there's gonna be an expert, it'd be in the Tremere, because they tend to spend most of their time researching anyway. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I mean, we do have wards against them. So they can't scratch you.
Okay, see, that's kind of cool.
I mean, you could probably put.
Back.
You could.
Yay.
Hello. You could probably put the ward on your car.
What?
That's awesome. Like,
I would
definitely
need
gonna,
to do more research.
because with the rate that I've been running into fucking werewolves, like, I need everything I own warded against werewolves at this point.
I guess they would just bounce off of it.
I think the only person who actually knows anything about werewolves would be the prince, and I'm kind of hesitant to ask her anything.
Why is that?
She's
I
been
mean-
up to some shady dealings lately.
Yeah.
With what?
Which, I mean, honestly, which prince isn't, but still.
With
Subjecting the local Camarilla to werewolves, it's a little bit more than I would bet most princes.
Yeah.
she's subjecting Lupin to.
Oh,
I mean,
Angel went to go tell her about how the werewolves attacked them, and
she didn't seem terribly surprised. And oh, by the way, she's got her hands on werewolf blood. Like,
Oh, that's the source. Oh.
hence my hesitance to bring anything up with her.
that's That's the person I was talking about earlier. She seems to be up to something.
Okay. Alright.
You sure you ain't got, like, books on werewolves in your enormous libraries over at the Chantry?
Oh, probably plenty. It's just not my normal Sunday reading.
Oh, what happened with Daniel?
I haven't seen Aislinn in a day or so. So I haven't caught up.
I just don't want that part of my agreement to be forgotten.
I could look into it. Aislinn just wasn't around yesterday.
Okay, so as long as Danny's all,
But I don't,
Still-
go hunting.
fucking hell, are you kidding me? Oh my god, I cannot believe this. Danny boy, the pipes are calling. God fucking damn it, fucking shit.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that a song?
Nothing. Yes. And we found him banging his head against pipes and nothing. It was a song that I heard before we went down there.
I feel like we might not be talking about the same kind
There's
of music.
definitely,
No, I'm sorry, it just
like, somewhere something was missed here.
yeah. Sure. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
Right? I guess?
I
No.
think.
Worry about it. I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Doesn't yeah, so werewolf blood expert. I think I don't have anyone that I know of except for I don't know anyone who's an expert on lupins in general. Only the blood maybe, but not them themselves, which I'm not exactly sure is helpful.
Well, I know plenty of ways to detect them or keep them away, but I don't know that specifically, other than I've avoided them any time before. Can't say I'm an expert in actually dealing with them.
Okay.
Oh, so did you find out anything that worked against them, like when you're doing your little tests?
Silver works. I oddly also they tend to not react very well to our blood either.
So then how is it okay for us to drink it?
Oh, when we consume it, we do something different with it. It's our blood being injected into them that's the problem.
So I'll make sure not to embrace any lupines.
Yeah, please don't. I have no idea what that would do. It reacts very violently, not as violently as silver, but still just fucked up and weird. Just don't.
So I guess then what we need to do is find out information about these, I guess. Okay, so we need to figure out information about Imbotech, whatever the fuck that is.
Yes.
We need to figure out information about werewolves, which I think he's the only one who can really do that, because I don't have access to a giant occult library, and I doubt they would let me into the Chantry. Be like, hey, can I look up some books on werewolves? No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
No.
So what do we do next then? I mean, I need to go probably speak to the prince anyway, but I don't know how much of this you want me to bring up.
I'm really worried about bringing this stuff up with her, because I don't know, like.
I have to go see her for different reasons, but
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm really kind of worried about bringing stuff up with her, because she seems like she's up to no good.
yeah, pretty much.
There is no scenario that I can picture in which getting your hands on a bunch of werewolf blood works out really well for the kindred.
No.
Like, either we piss somebody off, or we're making agreements with the werewolf. No,
It's
'cause
also
that's-
strange that none of it is moved, so I don't know where she's getting it, and B, what the hell she plans to do with it.
So you've been getting more of it?
Yeah, I got a whole nother
So
shipment of it, but none of
so
it got
basically,
in.
she's using the morgue to stockpile.
Yeah,
Jesus
but none of it's
fucking
been
Christ.
shipped out.
Don't you think that maybe the Lupin might come around here soon?
Oh shit! I don't know, mate.
I mean, if Angel was the one they were chasing,
See, I don't think they're after me. I think they're after some shit that. Okay, so, she wasn't here, so I'll tell her.
I'm not supposed to know about it technically.
No, they were after me because apparently they asked my sire, though I'm not sure that seems like a little bit of bullshit. They asked my sire, and she said I had some paperwork that this werewolf guy was looking for. So, like, I don't think this werewolf character knows my name. I think he just wants paperwork, and they did their own thing and decided that I have it.
I think we should go through your papers and see if we can even find what they're looking for.
or maybe your
If you
sayer.
don't have an idea.
I mean, I'll talk to my sire, but I doubt there's anything,
That would help narrow it down at least, even if she doesn't quite know.
Yeah. So I think our best bet is figuring out what we can about the werewolves, and then figuring out what we can about Infotech. And giving this phone over to the Nazis and seeing what they can track from it.
Yeah. Oh god, I don't know what to pay them with. I mean, I could just always give them money.
Oh,
but they usually want
I know what to
something
pay.
else.
I know exactly what to pay him with. I asked them for a thing a while back, and they couldn't find any information on it, so they nixed the deal. They were somewhat interested in a car that lets him drive around without looking like, Nazis.
Okay.
And I got tech for that. Like, it's basically the same as a day car.
Alright. Yeah, all I can do is diagnose bodies. It's a well sought after profession among kind, but other than that, it's
Incidentally, Spira. One thing that I'm going to do after he mentioned them coming here, I'm gonna turn on smell-based auspex and see if I can smell the werewolf blood without like pulling any of it out. Or
I'm
if,
gonna say no, because they're in blood bags.
that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I don't think they're gonna come around here looking for the blood, cause I can't smell it, and I don't know. Maybe they smell better, like their dogs kind of makes sense, but I can't smell it, so I doubt they would necessarily know to come here. Not to mention they probably would have if they knew to.
Alright. Do you feel confident? I don't sleep here.
I don't sleep here either.
Well, I guess it's not much of a problem. I think there'd be a ghost that sleeps here. Anyway, distracting thoughts there. So, did we want to maybe go after this further? Or are we waiting?
Problem is, like, yeah, totally want to go after the brother. Problem is, I don't fucking know where to find them.
I probably can find. Remember, I was took
All right,
out.
all right. So, like, what the fuck can't you do? Because, like, you seem to always have a fucking spell for this shit. Like, what the fuck can't you?
I cannot fix my radio that fell in poo water.
Incidentally, I probably could.
Well, then I might have
No.
to request. What?
I mean, it did fall in poo water, though, so...
You can't fix poo water?
Nah, but it's gross. Look,
It is-
getting oil on my hands is one thing. Getting shit on my hands is completely different. It's
Uh,
I would say
uh,
the same, except you know, I stick my head in dead people's bowels all the time, so I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess you wear gloves. I could
That's
wear
true.
gloves.
problem solved. Yes, I'll make sure to bring that around.
So then I guess we. Yeah, so that those are the three things we need to do. Is we need to find this fucker. We need to figure out, but before I feel like before we head out, we need to be a little bit more like, you know, like knowledgeable about how to deal with the werewolf. Because all I've heard of them is they're big, they're nasty. When they come by, run. And I know that they can survive getting hit by a car. Apparently, my idea with the silver swords was a decent choice. That's about what I know.
Yeah, hey, you want to watch? This is actually pretty neat. And she
Like-
brings them over to like a petri dish, like takes off her bloody gloves because she's been working, like pulls over the petri dish of werewolf blood and like drops a silver thing in it and it goes like runs away from the silver.
Like,
Could you smell it when she did that?
could I?
What was that again?
So with my
Just drop some little
smell-based
silver into one of my petri dish of werewolf blood just to show them what it does.
Oh, you could smell the blood from it being in a petri dish. Yeah, I was saying, but in a sterile blood bag that's not supposed to have any
All right,
oxygen
so
going
keep in
into
mind,
it.
I could smell that before you even did the weird silver thing with it. So like, be very careful about when you pull that out, because it's. I can imagine they know what werewolf blood smells like, and it's probably a
It's
beat.
very potent. Yeah, no, it is. It's extremely potent. You might be able to smell it.
Yeah.
Once you've smelled it once, you can probably recognize the scent again.
But like, I don't know. Does like what else works? You know, to
Wait, if
Like-
they
like-
could smell it, if we can find out they can smell it, that's a really good bait. To make them go somewhere else.
okay, but see,
Like, not where
I
we
mean, I
go.
guess, yeah, yeah, we have to be careful about that, because like,
A lot of
who the
gifts.
fuck knows how many werewolves are in this town?
Yeah. it
Who's
really-
to say we're not about to interact with 3 of them, and we put out the bait and 12 come calling?
Well, we're dealing with at least 3 plus with what I guess you're saying the prince has, or this company has. And we know there's at least one doing this. That's all I knew. There
Not to
might be
mention
12.
the couple that I saw up on the. I don't fucking know which ones are mixed together and which one's completely unrelated.
Yeah, basically, it's like trying to assume that all kindred are the same thing. It's kind of a dangerous assumption to make. But
Right.
I don't know exactly what we should do next as far as following this up. You could try to ask around the chantry if anyone there knows anything about Lupine before we try to progress further with this. That would be fantastic because Lord knows I don't.
I could look around. I imagine Justin is going to be like, oh, so you're asking from here to this to that to that to that.
Everything
It'll be
seems to
fine.
just get wrapped up in a giant mess. It's all right.
Honestly, I look weird enough, even for Trigger, so I guess I just bolted everything. Sorry, I haven't.
So yeah, I guess that's the plan. Find out about Infotech, find out about werewolves.
I can try and follow up with the angle at least.
Hey, actually, out of curiosity, you tried what's it called, Wolfsbane? I don't know. I've seen that in like horror
Did
movies
I
and shit.
get that? Spira. I was waiting
Yep.
on the verdict there because I was trying to get Wolfsbane.
Yes. Let's say you just got it in but didn't get to test it. We'll figure that out next time.
Yeah, I just got a shipment of that in today. I haven't
Okay.
tested it yet.
Roll in your
Yeah.
camera.
Damn, you could have asked me. I know exactly where to get some in town.
Oh, really?
Chard. There you
Yep.
go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
my
Thanks. Okay. Just want to
my
make sure.
sire is a hell of a gardener.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Alright.
have to keep that in mind.
I think the group has made a decision to like kind of follow up with each other shortly, make their decisions more. Let's see what Ike is up to after he's snuck out of the house.
Because I can. So I went out the front door, or wherever entrance I came in, right?
Yeah, you would have gone out on the first floor. You probably could have even used the same window out the back.
Yeah. So I'm going to, can I Spidey walk up the side of this building? Is there anything within 6 foot of reach? Or 12
Yeah.
feet?
There's a lot of trees. You could easily use the trees to do that, and then, like, jump or something. I was just thinking, like, you couldn't, like, pierce the side of the wall with the tentacles. No, but there's...
I meant more like, if I stand up on a 6-foot tentacle and reach another 6-foot tentacle up, that's 12 feet of grabbing onto roofage. First of all, are there any windows on the upper floor that are even open, or is it just all blacked out?
They're kind of more locked up, because that's where they would stay during the day. The downstairs are the only ones with really, like, clear windows.
Alright, and so I'm gonna head around to the front of the building. Do we have any cars outside?
Yes, there are 2 cars. There's like one in the driveway, one out on the street, and a short limo also out on the street.
Is there an expensive looking one? Like one that an opulent motherfucker like, what's his name would drive?
Oh yeah, no, they're all very nice. It's a short Lincoln limo, and then the other 2 are like some kind of very nice Mustang and something else.
No one of value drives limos. Fuck that shit. We're gonna go to the expensive Mustang and other car and kind of like see if I can see inside. Or are they all blacked out windows?
It's pretty dark, but you could like kind of make out the leather lining of the seats, and it's, you know, perfectly cleaned, all that.
Does it look like there's anything in there?
Like just
Duffel bags, drugs.
not in the seats.
No, not in the front or back.
No.
God damn it. I'm gonna like pull on the door and see if any like immediate alarm sounds.
You pull on the door and there's no alarm.
No audible alarm?
No.
Let's walk around to the trunk and give that a little pry.
Do you mean like with one of your tentacles?
With everything. My hands, tentacles, all of that. Sort of prying. Not trying to tear it off completely, though.
Alright, if you're not like trying to do anything super crazy, you can easily open it with the amount of tentacles you have going on right now. Opening it up, you see like a couple of normal things, like a spare tire and tire iron and things like that, but you do see what looks like a long black briefcase.
Is it locked?
Yeah.
Can I open that?
Just give me a strength, actually, strength or dexterity, whichever is better for your roll. I think dexterity. So just give me a basic one at 6.
For everything, or just me?
Just give me one for... Actually, your one tentacle is 4, so roll that first. Alright, yeah, you pop it easy.
Anything inside?
It is filled with at least 4 different types of guns, different sizes and styles. So because it's so long, there's one really nice rifle, but then there's like 3 smaller handguns.
I'm gonna pick that up with one of my tentacles and kind of like. No, he's gonna know it's the somber from the camera, so fuck it. We're just gonna carry that son of a bitch alongside of me in one of the tentacles.
The whole briefcase?
All of the guns, yes. And over to the second really nice car and pull that trunk open too.
That one doesn't have anything else. It's just the basics.
Oh, I'm gonna try to close them if they will close afterwards.
Yeah, the one closes fine. Maybe a little janked. Like it doesn't look like it was opened nicely, but it closes. It locks. You hear the little click.
And we'll just check the limousine just for shits and giggles.
That one has in the back a like small collection of like it's actually got a couple bottles in the back, like old whiskeys and more like niceties for traveling and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna need 4. Actually, I'll grab one of the really nice bottles.
Okay.
Whatever looks fanciest.
Yeah, so it looks like super expensive just by the bottle design and the like obviously like real gold cap and that sort of thing.
Alright, and I'm gonna hold them close to the ground and group together in 2 tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, making sure my shadow is not attached to me, it's moving over there.
Okay.
Yes. It's moving like 5 feet away from me. My shadow's like in the grass, moving along the grass. It's not on.
Your arms sort of my
me, it's
chair,
not
but that's
attached.
why
I know,
I saw. Alright, and we're just gonna walk out of here on 2 shadow tentacles holding. I'm not walking with feet. I'm shadow tentacling out of this motherfucker. Dr. Octopus style.
Fantastic.
And I'm gonna head to Claudia's apartment to update her on news.
Okay. Let's go back to Roland, who would be heading home to his apartment under his club.
We could downtime it, but can I pick up some things on the way home?
Oh yeah, sure. What do you want to get?
I need to get what is it called? I want to be a record player and some punks records.
Oh. It's late, but because my New York in the World of Darkness has places that are open way later than they would even be for New York. Yeah, like 1 something o'clock at night, you can easily find like a record store that has, you know, nice like kind of newer model of a turntable, but still has like a kind of like wooden look to it. It's designed to look kind of retro. And you just like go through, rifling through the punk sections and find, you know, some good stuff.
He'd ask for advice. He doesn't know what's good.
No, I know, but like someone would say, they'd be like,
to
get this one, get that one.
Yeah. I'll buy some, and of course something he likes. We'll buy some like Al Green, Marvin Gaye-ish kind of.
Nice.
Then we'll go home.
All right, so you make it home to your apartment underneath your club. At this point, O'Connell has taken over trying to like entertain Clementine. Benedict's just sitting on like a desk that you have in the room. He's, you know, got his arms folded, just watching the two of them.
Do they say anything as I walk in?
They just kind of make notice that you came home. Well, except for O'Connell. She does actually like get up a bit quicker and is everything all right?
Everything is fine. Yes. Can you hear the fan in my background? Sorry.
And like a bit, but it's not bad.
Okay. Everything's fine, O'Connell. Just hold on a second. And Roland will go plug, I don't know, somewhere on the wall, I guess. He'll put a record on for the most part.
One of the ones you picked for her?
Yeah, one of the ones I picked for her.
So you put on one of the punk albums that the guy picked out for you, and it starts playing. She actually, like, her eyes go, like, a little bit wide, and she smiles. I'll have to pick that one out.
Some nice lady at the store. You don't need to pick holes in my niceties.
Benedict's gonna roll his eyes and kind of harumph a little bit, like, ugh.
Roland will kind of walk up and put, like, almost as if he's going for like a slow dance, almost like comically, like hand up in the air, here one, the hand behind her back. I don't exactly know how to dance to your punk music, but I can do the classics.
O'Connell, Benedict, and even Clementine are gonna start, like, kind of just giggling a little bit, and she's gonna let you try to, like, lead her in a bit of a step dance, but since it feels awkward and doesn't work so well with the tone, she's gonna try and, like, show you more of just, like, a little bit of a kind of generic club thing that works with the music.
As we're dancing, he's he's gonna try and have a semi-serious talk with it. O'Connell, I never. My name isn't Roland.
So, as you, like, continue to answer,
Yeah, mine's not Sunshine.
I just feel if we are going to go on with this, whatever this is, and however long it's going to go on for, it should be a little bit more honest with you.
so she'll, kind of drop her, like, sarcastic, like, tone is,
Alright, so what is it then?
My name is Henry Kemp, and I'm a wanted man for just various things, but it's semi-serious.
Okay, I mean, it's actually not too strange for our kind.
Like FBI wanted, kind of serious.
she chuckles, still kind of dancing with you.
Yeah, alright. Do I need to worry about you dying to them too?
No, I don't think I'll be talking to them. I just want you to call me Henry from now on.
She'll, like, almost, like, miss a step because she was, like, pausing while, like, you said that and thinking, but, then keeps dancing.
Alright. Should Benedict know? Does Clementine?
Yes, Clementine knows. Benedict can. No, I don't see why it's... I mean, you two are living in my house. And I've lived in yours. He's trustworthy in my book.
Works for me. I mean, so... You can keep calling me Sunshine.
What's your real name?
Ugh. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's Summer Moonshine. Deckard started calling me Sunshine because he's a fucking idiot.
And then he'll try and, like, hide his laugh. That is beautiful.
Yeah, I heard you laugh, asshole.
I do need a favor to ask of you.
Yeah, and what's that?
This whole down here with I need rooms. You know, Clementine needs her own room. You know, you need a room. Benedict needs a room. I need workers to come down here, but I don't know who to trust in this city to have, to build. I just need you to, if you could handle that for me. I have the money.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not really a problem. We could easily get some stuff set up. Benedict has all the, contacts he could ever want.
Did they give me the money back in the briefcase or no?
They gave you in like a smaller case.
Okay. I'll just I'll give her the money later. I have 30,000 in cash. Hopefully that could set up some kind of rooms.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Honestly, I've never really done real estate.
It's more of a renovation, but yes, I
Oh, alright.
As you're, like, continue kind of dancing around, you're like,
Well, I mean, for opening up and stuff, yeah, I mean, I may not look it. I was really only 21 when I got turned.
How long ago was that?
Mid-80s.
And if I remember you, what's the name of the deaf guy?
Merrick.
And not to, and you and Merrick, I don't know what's happening there.
It's, I don't know. We don't have anything, we don't have a name for it. He's my sire, I'm blood bonded to him, we're just close.
Just making sure I'm not stepping on any toes, I guess.
No, no.
He kind of just clams up and just keeps on dancing and being romantic.
Clementine in the background you'll see is trying to dance with Benedict, and he's going along with it like, you know, caring uncle, but just like...
Is she dancing punk, or is it like...
She's just
being on
dancing
his
like a
shoes?
7-year-old going wacko, just arms and legs everywhere, and he's got like one hand out, like almost in a waltz position, but he's just kind of like moving his feet a little bit.
You know I'm going to kill the man who blood bonded me, right? And then I'll maybe think about stopping all this foolishness of just running around head first.
O'Connell's gonna laugh at that and be like,
If he didn't and Benedict didn't call you a pussy, I would.
I just want you to know that this whole me not being careful thing I'll try to be more careful with my actions.
Yeah, you should.
and she's gonna like kind of turn her head looking at Clementine as a motion when she says it.
Not just for her, but you know where I'm going. I also need to have the talk with her about aging.
Ugh. Don't envy you for that.
I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna break her heart. I'll wait a little bit longer, and then I don't know. Maybe next time when you and Benedict aren't around, I'll have the conversation with her.
Yeah, please, I'd rather not be around.
Me too, but that's...
So, you two continue dancing, and then, you know, the record, like, you know, comes to an end. It only had, like, it was a B-side. It only had, like, a few songs on it. So, she just, like, walks over and, like, has a bit of fun dancing around with Clementine as well.
I don't think I have anything for... I don't think I have anything I need to talk about.
Okay. Alright, so that'll wrap up the night for Roland, unless you had anything else?
I was trying to think. I should probably... yeah, I guess I do need to talk to Benedict?
Sure. Is it gonna be a long conversation?
No, it's just, I just need him to get information on Dom.
Got it. Alright, so,
Which we could just downtime. That doesn't even need to be...
Yeah, and we could even, like, touch on it a bit, next game.
Yep.
Alright, last thing I wanted to kind of get to real quick is everybody is done the next night. Or, like, done the one night. Nate is still behind, I think. So I just wanted to check back in. Nate and Claudia were having a bit of a one-on-one, actually telling each other more details about their past that they hadn't really done before. I wanted to know if Nate had anything else.
Nope. Basically, he's just waiting to hear back from the Roland and Ike on what they learned, so that we can piece together all the current intel we have. So, other than just general chit chat with Claudia, he doesn't have any specific questions as far as the topic of their past or anything else.
Alright.
Well, just to wrap up real quick, I will, as I'm heading down the driveway, pull out my cell phone, because I don't need legs or arms to walk. I'm going to pull out my cell phone and text Nate and ask if he can pick me up a bit further away from wherever the set are.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be carrying this shit down the town. But other than that,
Okay, that is actually the next night, so that's why I wanted to finish up with Nate. Alright, so then sort of in a downtime sense, Nate and Claudia spend a little longer talking, just a bit more personally, and then, like, you know, maybe the rest of the night Nate goes off and maybe practices more and whatever else. Alright, so this nicely wraps up one whole bit of evening for the entire gang. Everybody has sort of goals they want to do over the next couple nights. That's nice and fun. Little announcement for everybody. Zabani is going to be away for 2 weeks. So what we are probably going to do is something along the lines of maybe the Anarch one-shot again. And
There are no rules!
Yeah. Maybe one Anarch one-shot, maybe something else, or 2 Anarchs.
Do I need to make an Anarch character?
Yes! If we do that.
No, you have to use the bunnies.
Play Rose.
But yeah, so we'll follow up in the Discord. We'll let everyone know exactly what we're doing over the next couple of weeks. But it'll probably be like a bit separate from the game, even if it's Anarchs, then that's still canon because it was last time. So whatever the Anarchs get up to might affect the city, which is nice and fun. As always, we have this Friday will be Demon the Fallen at 9:30 p.m. EST. Sundays I'll be running Bloodlines, the video game, at around 7 p.m. EST. Chard, which you'll see in the chat, is actually Chard DTY. Articus and Koznark do sort of variety streaming throughout the week, so check them out for video game variety streaming. And Elvish Dame on Wednesday nights does creative with drawing RPG characters at around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST, starting around there. So check them all out, and we will see all of you lovely people in the near future.
Hold on 1 second. Everyone, don't forget to check us out on Discord after the game.
Yep.
Feel free, join us. We're going to be in there to talk to anything, or to talk to you guys. If you want to talk to us, ask us questions, chat about VTM or anything else. Also, do not forget to check us out on YouTube. Twitch only saves the videos for a little while, so if you're behind, you can always check them out on YouTube. It's at StorytellerSpira YouTube. I don't know. However YouTube links work. It's StorytellerSpira on there as well. It is completely up to date finally, and we are also uploading pretty quickly here. I'm getting the uploading backlog of the Demon game. So if you hadn't had a chance to catch them, definitely catch them on YouTube. You can ask us questions in the comments there as well. And always thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in a few minutes.
See you guys
Bye.
Friday.